Doppelganger avoids Blood right. He can't stop this. Like, Ohio could walk in from behind, like, force off into Echo Slam, but no one else from his team wants to be part of this.
If they stacked up a lot, if they really stacked up there, he would have gone. He might still get a nice slam here since he's behind him.
But the Dire Observer Ward is going to scout him out the second he walks in the lane. That's why he has to force stuff down through the tree line, but he already used his Blink Dagger, so they're not ready to go. The Tombstone's there, but the Earthshaker is not ready to fight.
Oh,
in the
they're
meantime,
diving as well.
KYXY being initiated on. The BKB comes out from Ferrari. Now KYXY, no TP this time around. This time, he dies. Yeah. 64 seconds on the sideline. Buyback is available, however.
They had cooldown, Blink, and Force Staff there on Shaker, and no TP as well, so you can't really help the
Ohio is still waiting. Ohio is still waiting.
Stay in the trees.
There's no good opportunity, however.
No, he's waiting for a dive, and they're like, where is this Shaker?
At least they've got Burning with no armor. So Hex in, is the weave going to work?
Here we go.
And now there's your jump in for the Fisher, but he can only control Burning. But the Death Ward from Chuan is going to start bouncing around. Fnatic, they're being torn apart by it. They have to back up. The Razor might have bought back, but what's going to be left of his team? The Mass Wars might be there, but the Brewmaster ulti is still causing severe havoc inside the base. The Fire Brewling can't finish the job. They're backing up on Ferrari, a quick blink away. Johnny off to the wrong side. The Dire Observer Ward's letting him know exactly where Fnatic are moving. And IG, even though Fisher from Ohio is off target, they're away, but they didn't take racks.
Yeah.
But they did get 3 buybacks.
Yeah, they forced the Razor as well. 3 buybacks forced. Plenty of economic damage there, and they just got away so cleanly as well. Look at the gold on Burning. Like, he's actually buying up items now. I think he's buying the entire...
It's a full butterfly.
Yeah, exactly. The entire butterfly is on the way when he picks it up now. I don't see how you're going to kill him. Like, your magic damage, yes, it's going to bring him down pretty low, but it's 3k HP we're talking.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to face the rest when he has a butterfly? It just seems very, very difficult.
I don't know, man. I don't think there really is an answer. This PL is a beast. An absolute beast.
Top lane, they're jumping in, but BKB on Tusk.
Just a quick BKB TP out. No stun to stop him, so he's fine.
Yep. Gonna be fine. Getting away from this one.
But what's Kerchik meant to do in this bottom lane? You see a huge creep wave coming in. I can burst heal the wave. Yay.
I think Tusk is going for Lotus Orb as well, by the way. We have seen a lot of them today, and he has the plate mail now. I don't see which item he would go other than that. So very likely, also very good against some of these heroes. Like against the static link, you can link back the damage so nothing actually happens. Against Rasta, you can stop the chain disable. It's just a pretty decent item.
Interesting to see Mushi's item choice. Going for the Mjolnir. I know we were talking about it previously. If it would be a good choice, a Mushi. Oh, there's a straight TP out. How much does Burning just want to have?
He almost dies there.
He's going to buy a Basher. Like, Burning actually has to buy a Basher into Abyssal. Like,
He could definitely. It would be a strong item for appeal. Abyssal next item would make him a monster. Or he could go for MKB, but I don't see a reason to do that.
Yeah. Like, the mini bash is nice, but just having that secure every time I want to, I can set up either Razor or the Bloodseeker, take him out of the game.
However, I don't even think that he needs to have Disable, honestly. He doesn't need to have the... He doesn't need to get these kills. He needs to be as strong as possible in the push. If he just stacks up like a Skadi on top of what he already has, he's just immortal. Like, he's not gonna die to anything. So, I think that's also a very valid choice.
Many paths he can go. He's already got the Assault Cuirass aura from the Brewmaster.
Yeah, they almost have Assault Cuirass on Fnatic as well. Razor's working hard to get it, but he needs the full recipe.
Look at him come. Burning moves forward. Almost breaking the smoke of Fnatic.
Very close.
They're coming underneath the Dire Observer. Now Ferrari's going to do it. BKB's goes for the clap and misses the target. Fnatic is backing the hell out of here as quick as they possibly can.
Yeah, that was some fast blink outs there. Getting away. Also forced a BKB from Brewmaster.
Too many PL illusions causing havoc inside the base. They're going to start to replicate themselves out as Burning. The man in the front lines, Doppelgangers, makes more of himself as Ferrari jumps in, goes for the split, taking the Dazzle out, and actually forcing the Cello Grave to be used defensively. And this means KYXY, there's no safety net, especially for Mushi as well.
Mushi's just dying to the Brewlings.
Yeah, he's just running around on top of him. He's down for the count.
Oh my god.
There's nothing more to really be said about this game. It's 22 for 3. In fact, it's the full 3-2-2 right now.
It is. I did say 5 more kills, Toby.
They might just call GG at this point. because you're losing top. There's no way you can fight Burning. You've got no Bloodseeker available. There's no buyback up for anyone. They've expended so much money. The only thing that will give them something is Neko Slam jump. And now, this is exactly what they're doing. The fissure in, Ferrari is low, but the Death Ward, Chuan sitting on the back in the shards. It's a massacre. GG. IG take game number 1 against Fnatic.
326. Dear God. I mean, when your 300 somewhat plus CS Bloodseeker gets soloed by the Brewlings, like... You're just suffering. There was nothing going right for Fnatic this game.
It was a hard knock life. IG take game number 1 in the series. We'll be coming back for game number 2 very, very soon.
All right, yeah, so game number 1. Yeah, Fnatic not having such a good time. IG looking super strong after their loss against Secret. Of course, a dominating score. But overall, I mean, even from the draft, right, we felt that something was different with IG. They had that backup plan. They said, all right, here we go with the Brewmaster. They came in and then possibly threw Fnatic off their game. Where do you think it all went in favor of IG?
I think the first 10 minutes, things just went way better for IG than they should have. The safe lane for Fnatic completely crumbled. The dual lane off lane that they ran with the Tusk Undying, they get the first blood on Mushi under their tower with the Ice Shards. Then they chase down afterwards, I think a minute later, and get 2 additional kills. And that kind of just sets the pace of the game. When your off lane is doing that well, even though Brewmaster suffers in mid, they can make space for him. He gets the blink. And I would definitely agree with you. The Brewmaster was a huge part of the success. A great last pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you bring that up because we do have some highlights from the early game because that's where we have felt that things really did change in favor of IG. So again, in the first 10 minutes, you have IG coming in.
So this is after they found the first blood on Mushi. They're going in here. This is the Ice Shards combination with the Tombstone. So you shard someone in and you drop the Tombstone behind. They do manage to bring down the Tomb, but it takes so much effort that ultimately Johnny will... He's almost escaping here, but he will be clubbed one more time by the Undying here on his way out. So
yeah, you have to walk right by them after trying to help his teammates out on their escape. How did you guys feel, Ben and Winter? I mean, IG, overall, what part of them looked a lot better? Was it just maybe all parts? Obviously, the draft seemed pretty clean
I think
from
just
them.
capitalizing on the weak parts of the opponent's lineup. We've talked about Lion being a weak support, but I think Shadow Shaman in a 3-on-2 or 3-on-3 situation is really vulnerable. And I mean, if he's like sitting there channeling Shackle, he's actually usually a free kill. And there's like you can even like snowball somebody that's getting shackled. You can just lock him in place. He's really slow. If he doesn't get boots early, he's gonna feed. He can't right click down the Tombstone. And yeah, we talked about the wards being able to kill the Tombstone, but so much of the damage was done before the wards even came online.
Okay, let's jump into another replay as we continue talking with you, Winter. I want to ask a couple questions going off of that. Do you think that maybe there was two? Yeah, that replay was pretty sick too. But here we go. Another early portion of the game, of course, at the 14-minute mark.
And the Cyclone from the Panda ultimate twice was so good. First he stopped the Dazzle for a bit, and then it cancelled the TP from the Razor, which was great. So it did a lot of work in this fight.
And there he just comes back for more hit.
This kind of the moment I saw Ferrari was playing Brew, it gave me flashbacks to TI2, where I think he actually had the most outstanding Brewmaster performance I've ever seen. Like, he completely carried a game. That was a very memorable moment. A big part of IG's success in that tournament was, of course, Ferrari's play as always, but he had that one Brewmaster game where he did everything right. I remember the game, and I couldn't put a finger on his play. It's like very rare that you see a player's performance just like... It's one of those games where you're just in the zone, right?
Right.
And he is an incredible Brewmaster player. I would definitely put him in the top 3 on that hero in the world, and he once again delivers here. That said, as Ben said, they obviously exploited weaknesses in the enemy lineup. I also think Fnatic were not having their best showing in this game. I think there were a couple of moments where it seemed like there was a little bit of a disconnect between how Ohio was imagining going in with a fissure and how the Shadow Shaman followed up. There were a couple of moments where it just seemed like they were a little bit out of sync, and you can't afford being out of sync against a team that punishes you so hard.
Yeah, even, of course, in the later portion of the game, we saw the Earthshaker just not finding that opening and then being stuck in the trees for quite some time before being able to jump in. Winter, on the side of Fnatic, I mean, when we were talking about the draft, we're like, all right, it's been kind of back and forth around the Tombstone and the Undying. That's been the focus. And then, of course, IG kind of had the last upper hand. But do you think Fnatic may be focusing a little bit too much only on what their game plan was? I mean, because I bring this up because we talked about the Shadow Shaman a little bit.
Yeah, I feel the main and biggest problem in the game we saw, which was quite evident, is the laning phase of the Shadow Shaman. He's very weak. obviously is very strong in team fights and stuff, but the combination of having a Dazzle and a Shaman in the lane, it's kill potential not too high, and you're up against a Undying lane, so Shaman is like Lion. Obviously, we all think the same. Yeah, gonna at the end of the day, he's gonna have a tough laning phase, and as a result of that, the impact of the hero got severely hampered because he died, I think 2 or 3 times in the lane in total. So he needs levels and ultimately the dagger to be able to do his job properly. But I think he got the level 6 timing I wasn't sure, but overall I feel the laning phase, he had too much to deal with in the laning phase, and they just got ball out of control.
He's really good versus like a solo Clockwork or even a solo Tusk.
Yeah,
but
if it's
two
one
heroes
hero. One hero is fine, but if it's 2v2 or 3v2, he doesn't shine in that sort of matchup.
Which they should have anticipated because their first 2 picks were
it's Tusk and Dying.
Yeah, we mentioned that right away. That okay, this is most likely going to be the duo.
So actually, it's not really exploiting a weakness. They just like kind of picked into it.
That said, though, I actually want to commend Fnatic on how well they played after the disasters early. Like, they were behind 17-1. It looked like it was going to be a complete stomp, but they actually managed to keep like the gold advantage at a reasonable level.
The Midas from the Bloodseeker was actually kicking in. That's why it wasn't as big as we expected.
And they also stopped getting picked off, right? They just got picked off way too much in the first 20 minutes. But then they played an actually really solid mid game where you could definitely tell that had the early game not gone like as a complete disaster, their game plan could have easily come together. And to me, their draft made a lot of sense. The laning stage just didn't go their way at all.
Okay. All right. Now, just because we've been focusing here and there on certain picks, obviously Undying was the theme of the day for yesterday. And today, coming across, we saw some Ember, but now for these teams specifically, Bloodseeker's kind of been on their mind. They both used it against Team Secret, and then Fnatic tried to bring it